Hello friends, so welcome you to this new class where we continue to study the physical features of India. In the last classes we were studying about the Himalayan mountains. We said it has got three ranges and below them it was a deep valley millions of years ago, and slowly the rivers came, brought out of soil, pebbles and filled that valley, and that valley has become a very plain area now. That is called the northern plains. So we are going to study about the plain that is next to the Himalayan mountains, and because of the activities of the rivers, the entire valley was filled with pebbles, soil and so on, and mostly we will find alluvium soil there. So that soil is very good for cultivation. Therefore the northern plains is a very fertile area, because every year fresh soil is brought down by the rivers, and that will enrich the soil, and people who cultivate there, they get good crops. People are very much interested in cultivating in this plain area because they are sure to get good harvest. So we shall see in detail how it was formed, what kind of soil we will find there and so on. You can follow in your textbook page number 12. The northern plains. So the northern plain has been formed by interplay of the three major river systems, namely the Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra, and along with their tributaries. So the main cause of creating this northern plain, three rivers are responsible: Indus, Ganga, then Brahmaputra. We'll write short form Bputra, and together with their tributaries. So all these three rivers, they have got many tributaries. Tributaries means the small branches that are coming. So many small tributaries join together and form the big river. So all these rivers, they are bringing down a lot of soil, and they come and deposit at the bottom or at the foot of the mountain, and that way the northern plain is formed. Then this plain is formed of alluvial soil. So we said the type of soil that we will find, it is the, what soil it is? Alluvial soil. So alluvial soil is very good for cultivation. We will find alluvial soil. The type of soil that we find is alluvial soil there. The deposition of alluvium in a vast basin lying at the foot hills of the Himalaya over millions of years. So this took millions of years, because that valley was so deep and so vast, because from the place the Himalayan mountains were raised up, all that nearby area soil was taken, and those area became very low because of the depression. And so now that area is being filled by the rivers, mainly the three rivers flowing down from Himalaya. So they bring a lot of alluvium soil and fill up this valley, and now it has become a plain that is known as northern plain. And don't think that it will happen within 2 years, 3 years. It took millions of years. So that will remember or will remind us how deep was the valley. For these three big rivers, they are carrying a lot of soil, but it took millions of years to fill up this valley, northern plain, to create northern plain. That means that area was very vast. Then it spreads over an area of 7 lakh square kilometers. So what is the area of this northern plain? 7 lakhs. The area is 7 lakh square kilometers. So it is not a small area. 7 lakh square kilometers. So 7 lakhs, you can imagine. So almost the northern part of India is covered by these northern plains. Then the plain being about 2,400 kilometers long and 240 to 320 kilometers broad. And what is the length of this northern plain? It is 2,400 kilometers. So 2,400 kilometers long. Then the width will be, some places it is 240 to 320 kilometers. So if you speak about the size, the total area is 7 lakh square kilometers. But if you look at the length, it is reaching 2,400 kilometers. And the width is not same everywhere. Some places it is 240 kilometers, and some places it is 320 kilometers. So the entire area is a huge, vast area. Then it is densely populated physiographical division with a rich soil cover combined with adequate water supply and favorable climate. It is agriculturally very productive part of India. So we say this area is very thickly populated. What is the reason? The area is very thickly populated because of the soil is very fertile. I said in the beginning itself. The soil is very fertile, therefore every farmer wants to cultivate here. So such a good soil, if you cultivate there, you don't have to put too much fertilizers because the soil itself is very fertile and therefore it will give a good harvest. Therefore the area is thickly populated. Many people go and make house there so that they can buy some area there and cultivate there. So that is their intention. They have made house there and therefore it has become a very thickly populated. So another thing is the climate is very favorable. So one thing why it is thickly populated is because of the soil, very fertile alluvial soil. And the second reason why it is thickly populated is because the area, the climate of the area is very suitable. So these two things attract the people there, and so this area is very highly productive because of the quality of the soil and because of the climate. And the rivers coming from northern mountains are involved in depositional work. So we said three rivers are there: Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. These three rivers are flowing from the Himalaya and they are doing this work of depositing. What are they depositing? Are they depositing money in the bank? They are depositing soil, pebbles and so. So whatever is coming down together with the water from the hilltop, all that will be deposited deposited in the northern plain at the foothill of the mountains. So what is very heavy will remain at the foot of the mountain. What is less heavy, like small pieces of the rocks or small pebbles and minute particles of the soil, they will still continue to flow together with the water. So these three rivers are doing that work of depositing the soil. And in the lower course, due to gentle slope, the velocity of the river decreases, which results in the formation of riverine islands. So, as these rivers are flowing down at the lower part, the slope becomes less. So, on top of the mountain or the high places, the slope is high, therefore the water will be flowing very fast. But as the mountain is becoming more and more less sloping, the speed of the water is reduced. And when the speed of the water is reduced, what happens? The water sometimes get divided. For example, let us say, so we see from the mountain top, the river is flowing down, very steep. But here onwards, the mountain is not very steep. Therefore, what happens? The water can flow this way, some water can flow this way, and some water can flow this way. Then they may come again and join. Afterwards, they may join together again and become one river again. So what happens here in the middle? To become like an island. To become like an island. That is called riverine island. The island in the river. So it happens because the speed of the water is low. Suppose here the river is going straight because the mountain is very steep and the water speed also is high, therefore it is flowing straight away. But here when it reaches here, the slope is less, therefore the water is not able to flow straight. So the depositing work is going on. The river is bringing and depositing lot of soil here, and water does not have enough force to push this mud and go forward. Therefore, where there is a way, water will change the direction. Like this it will go. So in that course of time, the mud that is deposited by the river will become higher and higher, and it will become like a island. I hope you understood. That is how river islands are formed. And we know in Brahmaputra river there is an island, very famous. It is called Majuli Island. And we can say that is the biggest inhabited river island. So people are inhabiting there. The people are living there. So that island called Majuli in the Brahmaputra river, it is inhabited by the people. People are settled there. People are living there, cultivating there. So we can say that is the biggest riverine island that is inhabited. So we can underline, it is given in the do you know column as a general knowledge. So sometimes they will ask the question, which is the biggest inhabited riverine island? So I have to say Majuli Island. Do you understand how the river islands are formed? Because of it is formed at the lowest level where the mountain steeps are less. So the force of the water is less, therefore it cannot just push the mud and go, but it will change the direction and go around, and then the mud is deposited. This mud is deposited by the river. The river will be depositing here, slowly it will be pushing away, and this mud will become higher and higher. And then since water is not that forceful, it cannot push the mud and go straight, therefore it will go through the sides. Then the rivers in their lower course split into numerous channels due to the deposition of silt. and these channels are known as distributaries. So as the river is depositing soil here, so lot of soil is deposited here. So what happens? All these are soil deposited by the river, bringing down from the mountains. So the river cannot go straight because the depositing the soil it becomes higher and higher, and so it is going to different direction. So this river may be divided into so many because of this depositing work. So if this river is depositing here again, then the river may go this way. No? Then this river also may be depositing here and it may go this way. So as the river is flowing, it will be always carrying soil. We can look at the river and see. The river is bringing lot of sand, isn't it? The people are collecting sand from the river. It is brought down from other places. So along with the sand, they also will be carrying soil. They will be also carrying a lot of pebbles and so. Because the water force is very high, it can carry a lot of things. So because of this depositing, the river will divide into so many small rivers, and they are called distributaries. So before we said many small rivers come and join the main river, they are called tributaries. So many small rivers come and join the main river, then all these small ones are called tributaries. But when this big river or the main river is dividing again in different direction, then they are called distributaries. So remember the two terms. So many tributaries join together and become one river, and afterwards that river is divided into so many small rivers, that is called distributaries. And what is the reason for the creation of distributaries? It is because of the depositional work. The soil is deposited there, and therefore the water cannot go straight. Therefore the river is divided moving into different directions. That is why a lot of distributaries are there. So remember those two terms. What are they? Tributaries and distributaries. Many tributaries join together and form one big river. Afterwards that river is divided into so many small rivers. They are called distributaries. Then the northern plain is broadly divided into three sections. The western part of the northern plain is referred to as Punjab Plains. So this river, this northern plains, we can say it is divided into three parts. So first one is called the Punjab Plains. Which one is Punjab Plain? The western part of the northern plain. Where is the west? This side. So the western part of the northern plain is called Punjab Plains. We will write short form Punjab Plains. That is the western part of the northern plains. Then formed by the Indian and Indus and the tributaries, the larger part of this plain lies in Pakistan. So this plain mainly getting the water from Indus River and the tributaries, and most of this Punjab plain is in Pakistan. So only little part is in India. Majority of the area is lying in Pakistan. Then the Indus and its tributaries, the Jabalun, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Beas and the Satluj originate in the Himalayas. So these are the tributaries of Indus River. What are they? The Jabalun, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Bees, and the Sadlets. So these are the rivers that are forming Indus River. They are tributaries, and they at the end come and join to the Indus River. And they all originate from which place? Himalaya. All these are Himalayan rivers, and therefore they come and join. They originate from Himalaya and they come and end in this Punjab plain, the western part of the northern plain. Then this section of the plain is dominated by the dogs. So this section, that is the Punjab plain, that section is dominated by the dog. So you come to know about a new word, that is dog. What is dog? D-O-A-V. So dog is a combination of two words. Do means you know. In Hindi also it is same. Do means two. Ab means water. So do means two waters. That's the meaning. Dogs, two waters. Then you may be able to know about the different dogs there. So dog is made up of two words. Do meaning two and ab meaning water. Similarly, Panch ab is also made of two words. Panch meaning five and ab meaning water. So the place or the state Punjab, so we can divide that also into two. Panch means five, ab means water. So Punjab literally it will mean the place of five waters. Maybe five rivers are coming and joining there, therefore they have given the name Punjab. So that is a little general knowledge for you, and so remember that and keep it. So we will not be able to complete the entire northern plain today. So we will wind up for today, and in the next class we will continue with this northern plains, and we will learn more about the other areas. Only the first part or the western part of this northern plain we have come to know about, which is known as Punjab plain, and this area is drained by Indus River together with its tributaries like the Jalab, Jalum, the Chenab, Ravi, Bees and Satluj. So five tributary rivers are there. So all these are bringing down lot of alluvium soil and making this area fertile. And we also studied about a new word, dog. So in this area there are a lot of dogs are there. Dog means two waters. Do means two, ab means water. So same way Punjab also we can say Panch means five, ab means water. So we will wind up for today, and we will come again to continue with this same topic. Until then, bye.